everybody, and welcome to episode 19 of Kings Connected. My name is Dylan Baker. In our last episode, we got a chance to talk to Darcy Panzira, who kicked off our alumni series. A great interview with Darcy. If you haven't checked it out, strongly recommend you do. Today, we'll talk to Dario Beljo. Dario spent 2 seasons in a Kings uniform, posting 94 points in 92 games after being selected by the London Knights in the OHL priority selection in 2018. We're very excited to talk to Dario, who was not an overager last season, but is moving on this year, about his time in Komoka, what the organization meant to him, how they helped develop him on the ice, but off of it as well. The Kings take pride in the way that they develop their players, and we'll talk to Dario to hear a little bit more about that and how much he enjoyed his time with the Kings. We strongly recommend you check out all of our alumni features because they provide a great glimpse into the organization and how it's run behind the scenes and what players feel playing in Komoka. So without further ado, let's dive right into things with Dario Beljo. I'm now joined by Dario Beljo, who put up 94 points in 92 games with the Komoka Kings. Dario, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Getting things started, you spent 2 seasons in a Kings uniform after being selected by the London Knights in the OHL priority selection in 2018. What was the time spent in Komoka like?
Yeah, my 2 years in Komoka were very special to me. I met a ton of great people, just, obviously on the team and all the staff. And, everyone really welcomed me. And, every time I, think about, if a post pop up on the Instagram feed or something, I kind of smile because I had a great time there.
We're glad you enjoyed it. Now, when you got your start with the Kings, how tough was the transition to Junior B from minor midget?
Yeah, obviously it's a bit of a faster pace and tougher competition, but I was also fortunate to play with some really good players right off the hop. So I'd say overall it was pretty smooth because, while the competition was a little tougher, I also got to play with some good guys. So
you had a strong team in that 2018-2019 campaign with the Kings, and of course the transition can be a tough one. You talked about it there, a little faster, a little stronger, but you had a great rookie campaign, and then you followed it up with an even better season last year. You were named an assistant captain last season. What did that mean to you?
Yeah, that was a huge honor to wear the A. If I'm being honest, it's not something I was really expecting. It's not something I really thought about even. Obviously most of our leaders from last year had moved on. So, I walked in the room for, I think it was our second game of the season and I had the A on my jersey. So, it was very cool and, humbling. But, it was a huge honor because, there's so many guys that they could have picked for that opportunity. We had a great group in that locker room.
For sure. That must have been pretty special for you to get the A in your second season. Now, during your time in the organization, you were selected to play in the GOJHL's Future Stars and Top Prospects game in your 2 seasons. What were those experiences like?
Yeah, those were that was very cool, being recognized for those games because obviously a lot of very good players around the league. And, it was a lot of fun, meeting guys from other teams that, you're typically playing against. And I also, for those weekends, I had a bunch of friends and family come down to watch, and that was pretty cool because obviously, being from Sudbury, I don't get to play in front of them much anymore, and it was pretty special to me getting to see them in the stands again.
You talk to these players that play in these games, the Future Stars and the Top Prospects game that get put on every year. They talk about how awesome that experience is, and it's great that you were able to have friends and family come down to watch you play because you mentioned it there. Coming from Sudbury, you don't get a chance to play in front of them very much, so that's awesome that you had such a great time playing in those games. Now, from the player development perspective, what do you think the Kings organization was able to bring to your game?
Oh, I can't say enough great things about the entire coaching staff, and in my first year, over the 2 years, I felt that I grew a ton as a player because, I had so many, between Mike, Colin, and Ron, they all had very unique perspectives that I could take away from. And I know in my first year, Ron, he was a little hard on me, but I'm happy because made me, I think it made me a way better player. He was hard on me in the defensive zone and being better on the walls and whatnot. And I think I really needed that as a young player. And so that first year made me much more responsible. And then in the second year, once I kind of proved that I could do all those little things right, I had a little bit more, you know, they were a little more patient with me, and I could take more chances. And Colin was a great mentor. I'm super thankful I got to play for him for 2 years because, he came in and he was a great mentor for me, having played for the Knights for many years and then went on to play pro for a bit. I learned so much from him, just, about so many different parts of the game. And yeah, I'm super thankful I got to play for him.
For sure. And you played some big minutes last season as a forward. You played on the penalty kill, the power play, and even strength, of course. And we're glad that you're able to develop into such a strong player and that you're very satisfied with your experience in Komoka. And Colin, you touched on it there. You're thankful for playing under him. And I'm sure that a lot of guys next season will be feeling the same way as he enters his first year as head coach. Now, one of the things that the Kings organization really prides itself on is developing, players, but also developing the person behind the players. So how do you feel you matured in your time in Komoka?
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like again, it was such a good experience for me. Moving away from home at 16, like it was obviously a tough transition, but I was very fortunate to be around some great people within the organization, and I think they really made my time there special and helped me grow as a person because, like I said, it can be really tough at times being away from home that young, especially first couple months. But they definitely, all the people there helped me mature into the person I am because, you do change a lot when you move away. And then I was very lucky to have those people kind of guiding me and supporting me.
That's great. Now, Rup Chanad, at President GM, says you're a very good hockey player, and he enjoyed watching you develop both on and off the ice. As good of a player as you are, he says you're respectful and a mature young man, an excellent role model for young kids. How do you feel about what Rup had to say?
Yeah, that's very special for me to hear that because at the end of the day, it's all about being a good person, right? So to hear Rup say that about me, it means a lot because I have a ton of respect for him, and like I said, I'm very thankful that he took me on as a young player, and yeah, that means a lot to me coming from him.
Definitely. Dario, what are some of the opportunities that you feel the Kings have created for you?
I mean, like like I said, like it was. I'm so grateful that I got to play there for 2 years, and I think as they have a great organization for young players coming in. There's nowhere else I would have liked to play. I just came in as a 16-year-old, and I got lots of opportunity to grow as a player and a person, and I think that gave me a ton of exposure. So yeah, I think it was really good for me getting to play big minutes, and like I said, just all the exposure I got playing for them, and obviously all the great people I met that I know I'll be keeping in touch with for years to come.
That's great. Do you have any memories that you can take away from the past 2 seasons with the Kings?
Oh yeah, there's countless memories. I mean, it was so much fun coming into the room every single day. Like I always looked forward to it because we just had such a great group of guys, and all like top to bottom, from management to coaching, everyone was just a joy to be around. But one thing that sticks out to me has got to be when my first year our playoff run because we were definitely looked at as underdogs, and I everyone. But the thing was, everyone in the room, we knew what we were capable of. But it was really cool showing it to the rest of the league, and that playoff run was super special. And it might be my best hockey memory ever. It was we just had such a good group, and we went a lot deeper than we were expected to, and it was pretty cool.
For sure. That team was a special one, going so deep in the playoffs, beating Chatham in round one and then taking Leamington to 7 games in round two. So a great team that year. We're happy that you enjoyed your time in 2018, 2019, and then last year as well. Final question for you. Do you have any advice that you can offer to guys becoming Kings this year?
Yeah, I mean, just you have to enjoy your time. You're in great hands. As I've said a million times this interview, like you got to put your trust in Colin and the rest of the staff and Roop. Like they're all there for you. They want what's best for you and what's best for the team. So you have nothing to worry about as far as that goes. Like, they're good people. You just gotta, savor the time and yeah, make the most out of your opportunity, because it's pretty special to play in Komoka. And I'm excited to see what Colin will do this year as head coach. I love playing for Ronnie, and it's too bad to see him move on, but I think Colin's going to do a great job with this team, and I'm excited to see what they'll be able to do.
Awesome. Some great advice for these guys becoming new Kings this year. Good luck in the future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
That was my interview with Dario Beljo, who will not be returning to the Kings for next year, but had a great tenure in Komoka, posting 94 points in 92 games with the Kings, 40 of those points being goals. He had a great 2 seasons in Komoka. Dario was a great player on the ice. The stats certainly reflect that. They'll tell you that story. But the story that they don't tell is how great he was off the ice. Dario was a guy who was open to talk to anybody, and if I had a question, he was there to answer it. Dario, a great guy off the ice and a great teammate on it sounds like, as well. So we thank Dario for joining me today. We thank you, the viewer and the listener, for joining this episode of Kings Connected. We'll be back on Thursday with another great alumni episode for you.